What is up, everybody? This is Recap Rewind. I'm JLAG.
And I'm NB.
And we are recapping and reviewing Westworld Season 2, Episode 9. And it's called Vanishing Point.
Vanishing Point. Why? What was the vanishing point?
Like life vanishes.
Oh,
in this point
yeah.
of the episode.
So what did you think of the episode?
I liked it. I thought that, I liked it, but I feel like I could have asked
a bit
for
more.
Gone a
And
little bit more.
we were watching it together this time. So we anticipated that like the episode 9 is always like the biggest episode.
Yeah.
Like it's the one that you're going to get shook watching it.
Yeah.
But we watched it together and we both said the same thing about that kind of reveal behind the MIB's wife and why she kills herself.
Right.
So we'll get to that later on, but yeah, kind of wanted a bit more of from that, I think.
I agree.
And I don't know if that story's done yet, but I kind of think it should be done at this point.
Yeah,
like,
at this point,
you guys spent a whole episode on it. Like, it should be done
if
now.
If it's not done now, if you didn't tell the entire story, then I'm disappointed in you.
Yeah.
But also, I'm kind of still disappointed in you because like that was a kind of not the best story
Yeah,
to tell.
let's get into it.
So let's talk about some of the outside players first. Let's talk about Bernard and Elsie.
Right.
So they're still on their like little travel together. They're trying to figure themselves out, but also Bernard is being or Ford is like piggybacking off of Bernard and telling him what to do.
Yeah.
So in the beginning of the episode, Ford is basically saying like, Bernard, you got to get rid of her. She's going to be a nuisance. Like, just kill her off. It's not going to be a big deal. He even like gets him to like have a gun in his hand and he's like, just do it.
Yeah.
And
is this also where he tells Bernard to go up to Maeve?
Yes. So all the while, this is after he, I guess, shoots up everybody up.
Yeah.
And he's, just trying to like get him to his next spot, which is he's still trying to get him to the Valley Beyond.
Right.
But he wants to talk to Maeve first. So he's like, there's one more thing you need to do. So he goes and drops off to Maeve.
Yeah.
And then he's like, Maeve will hear you.
Yeah.
Like,
it was cool because like Maeve was in the room.
Right.
And like it's obviously glass, whatever. So like Bernard trying to get in there, but like he couldn't get in because like it was like locked.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's okay. Like you're close enough to her that like whatever's going to be transmitted between the two of your brains, like it's good. It was so cool.
It's like brainwaves. She's going to search for your voice.
She can figure, she's searching in your brain for the message that I left her. Right. Ford left her a message.
Right. So then he leaves and then he ends off with Elsie kind of in the middle of the woods. And he starts to freak out a little bit because Ford is telling him to kill off Elsie. Like, she's gonna betray you. That's what he says to her. And so Bernard is like, no, this is not my destiny. I'm gonna do whatever I want. And he was like, you can choose whatever you want to do, but I'm just letting you know right now, she's gonna screw you over.
She's gonna screw you over.
Do you think that there's gonna be some truth to that later on in the season? Season finale, I guess.
No, because I feel like Bernard's been screwed over enough, and I honestly feel like Elsie is gonna be a good character. I feel like between her and Hemsworth, like I feel like those two are the two humans that we can fully trust that they're gonna do the right thing.
All right.
And like if she does screw him over, like it's like okay, and what? Like he's been screwed over enough,
and
he's been played with enough where I feel like I think she can be counted as like a good character, whether or not he believes that. Maybe he gets tricked to believe that like she betrayed him along the way. We don't know, but I think she's like good. We'll
see. So anyway, he ends up tying himself to the car,
which I didn't understand
like,
why.
It didn't so extra.
We were both like, why is he tying himself?
He's like, I'm gonna tie my hands
to the wheel,
and then he deletes Ford's like file, the data file,
his code within his brain. Yeah,
that was inside his brain. Do you think Ford at this point is like gone?
No, probably not.
He's like, is he probably still? Not. I feel like in the mesh, like still like in the rest of the
and also
system.
Yeah.
So he deletes him from his consciousness, so he doesn't see him anymore. And then Elsie sees him, and he's like, she's like, why the F are you like tied up? Were you gonna hurt me?
Yeah.
And Bernard's like, I don't want to take any chances. And she's like, are you gonna leave me here?
Yeah.
He's like, yes. Goodbye.
Okay, so he gives her that thing. What was it?
I guess it's like a transponder or something.
Oh, the transponder.
I guess it's like something like telling
to alert the HQ to come and get her.
Right. So she's gonna be gone now, like left by herself, and he drives away.
Yeah.
So Maeve, let's talk about Maeve.
Yes.
So she's also once again in this episode like fully KO'd.
Again, so she's still on the table. She looks all ripped up. Right. Like, I don't know what they're doing to her.
So one of the things that we can tie to her storyline is the fact that the guy that was operating on her extracted a part of her code and moved it into Clementine.
Right.
So Clementine makes another appearance this episode.
Right.
And he tests out her abilities.
To basically control a room of hosts,
a
right?
room of hosts.
So she's able to like with her hand control them all, and they basically fight each other to the death. They're like eating each
like
other.
They're literally eating each other like
zombie style. Yeah. So we see that Clementine now has whatever coding Maeve had originally.
And then Hale sees that, like Charlotte sees that, and she was like, well, if she has it, then we can get rid of Maeve.
Do you think they're gonna kill Maeve off?
Let's finish off like what her story. So at this point in time, we see Maeve, and Ford sends her the message that he wanted to send her. So we see Anthony Hopkins, Ford, talking to her and saying how he's really lamenting about the fact that she ended up on this table, because he's like, I gave you the ability to literally dip from this world.
And like you left, but then you came back. Like,
so it was I think it was a really powerful moment, because I feel like he's making almost parallels to his life and what he's gone through, and to like her.
He's like, you came back for a child.
Just like I feel like I'm coming back for my children.
Yeah.
He's like, there's no way that I can express it otherwise. Like, you're just like my. And he also reveals that Maeve was his favorite. It wasn't Dolores.
Bombshell,
it
for
was
sure.
Maeve, and he even tears up. And I was like, holy shit! Like, they made him cry. Like, he's gonna get him. He got emotional about it, because he was like, I can't believe you're here right now.
Yeah.
So, the last thing he says to her is, I don't want you to like end this way. And he like kisses her on the forehead, and he like bestows upon her like an unlock code for like something
another
unlock code. So like, I'm assuming this is beyond her current powers. Like, this is like her probably going to be like completely invincible. Like, who knows? Like, maybe she doesn't.
I can't even imagine.
I don't even know what it's going to be, but she's going to be fine, I'm assuming. So answering your question of whether or not she's dead, I don't think so. I think he just gave her something that is going to make her like turn up and like, be okay again. What is going to happen to her now, and like what her story is going to be now that she found her daughter, lost her daughter, blah, 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 blah. Like, maybe she'll just go back to the Valley Beyond and like find her daughter, and then it'll be like a nice little reunion. Is that all you want to see from her character for the finale?
That's the thing. Like, I kind of envision her to get to her daughter by season's end, but it's already happened. So like, I don't know what else I'd want for her character at this point. It's really weird.
Right. Like, I wonder if we're going to get a little sneak of what season 3 is gonna
I mean, there must be,
because right
but
now
you're right. I think they're gonna all go to the Valley Beyond. I feel like that must be the next thing, is like they're all gonna end up meeting there.
Yeah, for sure. Do we want to talk about Dolores next?
Yes, let's do that.
So let's talk about Dolores and Teddy. They're also on their journey on the way to the Valley Beyond. They also bump into the Ghost Nation in the beginning of the episode, and this is something, if you didn't remember, is reminiscent of season 2 episode 1, so the season premiere, where you see Dolores killing one of the Ghost Nation people when they extract his brain. They see her like come
that clip,
and she says what she says, which is like, not everybody's made for this world. But you also see that like they call her the Deathbringer. Like, she is known to be this person that's like evil or whatever, and they warn that she's not allowed to be a part of the Valley Beyond. Right. Like, she's not allowed to go there. And she's like, go fuck yourself. I'm gonna go there anyway.
She's like, I'm going there, you're not.
Yeah. So she kills everybody, and poor Teddy, this whole episode, like, I mean, I feel like this whole season he's been conflicted with who he is and what he's gonna do with his life. And so in this moment he sees her, and he like has to do what she says, so he starts shooting everybody up, but he sees one last Ghost Nation guy, and he like undoes his like clip, and he doesn't shoot him.
He couldn't shoot him.
So it seems that like, even though he has been programmed to be ruthless, he still has that soul, which is part of him.
I mean, I think we said that from the beginning. His core person is gonna come through, and that's the biggest thing about Teddy's character, is that like, even as she's changed him, he's still somehow, his original like thing is coming through.
He can't help himself.
He can't help it. Like,
so that was the moment that we see, and then they end up by the end of the episode, they end up seeing like, they end up at this like, I guess, little, it
was like a rundown like house,
like barn or something, and he has a moment where he looks at the expanse again. He was like, there was a moment where you thought this was all beautiful nature and perfect, and he was like, now I realize like, we're not even nature, we're something different. And she was like, yeah, we are different. We're like special. And there's something more beyond. Like, she's like, I've done told you this already.
Yeah.
So he's having a moment now, though, that he's like, I don't know if I can do this anymore. I'm not happy anymore. You don't make me happy.
You made me into this person that like I'm not.
Yeah.
Like,
you turned me into something else. And there's a moment where she thinks that he's gonna like shoot her. And he's like, I can't do this with you. I told you that I'd love you forever and do this with you forever, but I can't love you anymore.
Yeah.
And so he
shoots himself.
Blows his brains out. He doesn't even just shoot himself. He literally kills himself, deleted forever. Because as we remember, the cradle is now blown up, and so all the backups are gone.
Yeah.
He's not able to come back to life.
Oh my God.
So seeing Dolores at that moment, she was like fully shook. She was like, fuck. Like she didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
So,
and that's how the episode ends off, right?
That's
like
how the
that's
whole
how
episode
it
ends, yeah.
So she's kind of shook, and it just kind of cuts to black, and that's how we end off.
Right.
So I don't know what that means for her. Like for episode 10, like what is she gonna do? Like she's literally on her own. There's no one left.
There's no like he was her last connection.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that she wasn't pleading with him. She wasn't like, please don't kill yourself. Please don't do anything. Like it happened so fast that she didn't have a moment to like reason.
But do you
him.
find that believable that this character would not know what he's gonna do? Like she must have known. I just can't imagine Dolores not knowing like what Teddy is gonna do.
Right.
She just seemed so clueless in that moment and so like spaced out.
I don't know if she didn't realize. I think she did know what was gonna happen, but she didn't know how to stop it.
Yeah. Because like realistically, what's she gonna do? Like she'll stop him now, but then he'll go do it again like 5 minutes later. So like,
exactly.
What's the point?
And at what cost? I think at the end of the day, she's also realizing that she's like lost a bit of herself. Like, what is she doing this all for? She lost her dad. She lost Teddy. Like she's the only character right now, including like if you're including like Ghost Nation and Maeve, all those people, they have like an emotional drive. She just lost her emotional drive. Like he's not coming back.
Yeah.
So there is going to be that loss from her. So it's either going to make her even worse or it's going to... Because I feel like to a degree, like Teddy was able to ask her questions and be like, is this what you really want?
Yeah.
And she was able to say like, no, go away.
Yeah.
But is this going to break her or is this going to make her like even more intense?
I don't know.
Because like now she has
even
no
more
one
like evil
to talk to. Yeah. So I'm not really sure where it's going to go. I feel like she can turn into a full out tyrant, but like she has no one following her.
Yeah.
Like they always say, like the big thing is like if you're a leader, but you have no followers and you're not a real leader at all. Like she has no one left. There's no one, no army. Everyone's dead.
I honestly feel like, I know we said episode 9 is the big one, but I feel like episode 10 has to be the big one at this point.
100%.
Like we're still waiting for this massive shitstorm to happen.
That being said, the season finale of last season was Ford getting his brains blown out the last episode. So yeah, I guess we can still expect something big to happen next episode, but this was a bit of lead up. I mean, a major character just died. Like Teddy's done now, so that
it's weird though, right? Because like in this world, I don't see it like that, and I know it's
like
weird.
You're kind of in shock
because I'm like, oh, we'll
gone.
see him again.
Yeah.
But you're right. Like all the backups are gone, so we probably won't see him again. But maybe it'll happen in a flashback. I don't know. It's just a weird world.
Well, we know that his body ends up in the water. Right. So that, and then I think that's one of the things with the show too, is like when people are in peril or in danger, we've seen some characters make it to that final flash forward. So we know that Teddy, even though he's dead right now, still ends up in the water. So
but maybe it's just his dead body.
But it'll still be his dead body. But like we'll still see him move to some point. She's not gonna like leave him in the barn, I'm assuming. She's probably gonna like take his body and like move him somewhere. I don't know. But like he obviously ends up there somehow. So it'll be very interesting to see where that all goes. We still have no idea how that valley gets flooded in the first place. So we will see. But let's talk about like the big storyline about this episode, which is William, his wifey, and his daughter.
Right.
So do you want to talk about the wife first, or do you want to talk about the daughter?
So I think it kind of all starts off with the daughter, though, right? Because I think they're sitting together.
Right.
The man in black and the daughter, and they're just talking, and she's like, I tried to save you.
So this is this is after she takes them from Ghost Nation. She's like sitting under a tree with him, and she's healing him. She like found a medic box and
Yeah.
like she called for like
So at this point, he still wants to keep going, and she's like, "Dad, you're done. Like
Like,
you're
we're-
done this
we're
stupid
done now."
game. We're leaving. You have to come back." And he's
Yeah.
like, "No, I'm not coming back. Like this is it."
Yeah.
And so I think she's trying to uncover what happened that night that the mom died.
Right.
And so are we, because we've been waiting patiently like all season.
Exactly.
So it's kind of cutting in and out, right, from the events of that night
yeah,
to them actually having a conversation.
having the conversation. So she is trying to dig deep and be like, why was this night different at all?
Yeah,
than, like, all
because
the
she
nights that
said, she goes, "Mom
drunk?"
was an alcoholic. Mom was a druggie. Like we knew that already.
Right.
Why was this night different? That like she killed herself though."
Right. So she ends up talking to him and seeing all these flashbacks where he kind of has a conversation within himself as well, where he's basically like, well, you were like the one for me. You saw through all my shit.
You saw me for what I
whatever.
was.
And you see them in this like,
It's his birthday party, I think.
is it his birthday?
I
or
think it was his birthday or something, because
some event
after
happens.
Ford like congratulates him after.
Right. So
It's like a fancy gala.
yeah. And she's kind of like drinking. She's getting lit, but like not really high key lit.
It's like a rich person's like lit.
Rich person lit. She's like
Yeah.
drinking like full champagne. So she's talking or whatever, and then she comes at one point and she's like, you should be happy for yourself because like everybody's here for you right now.
Yeah.
What else more can make you happy? And in that moment she walks away and he sees Dolores
Yeah.
in the waitress.
Yeah.
So clearly that's what would make him happy, is
Right.
like being with Dolores, being in that world.
So just quickly, the biggest thing I have, the biggest question I think I have, and like we were talking about this too, is Dolores just a symbol of Westworld to
Right.
him? And so what he really misses is the world, or is he actually in love with Dolores?
That's a great question. I think that like what we've seen him do to Dolores over the years makes me feel that he's not in love with her, but I do feel that why else, what is his
Yeah.
motivation outside of her? Like,
Yeah,
I feel
like,
like,
are you just obsessed with that world?
are you
Like I
obsessed
don't
with
get
like
it.
the trees and like the canyon?
Yeah.
Like, or are you obsessed with her and making her fall in love with you?
Yeah.
Like, what is it that like really is drawing you in? Like, there must be a reason why you're envisioning her. You're not envisioning like that guy that you killed,
Maeve or
like
Teddy or anyone
Lawrence
else.
or anybody. Like, you're literally
Yeah.
envisioning her, and half the time you like killed her. So what is it about her that's really wrapped you in?
Yeah, I want to know.
I feel like hopefully we'll get that answer by the end of the season, because I just feel like there is some sort of connection there that hasn't been completely explained. The question that I had last episode was like, why did he even show Dolores the servers in the first place? Like, why was she so special to bring her out in the middle of nowhere to show her the Valley Beyond, like all those years ago
Yeah.
when he was young William? Like, why did he care about her so much to let her know that information?
It has to be more than just like the world. It has to be her.
It has to be her. So and to me, I feel like that'll be really powerful as a story, to be like, he really was that obsessed and loved her that much that he wanted to do all this to
stay with
change,
her in that world,
to be
or
with her
whatever.
forever.
Yeah.
Because I think what the reality was in season 1 is he couldn't be with her because she's a robot. But what if he found a way to become a robot for her?
Yeah.
And like they could live their
Yeah,
lives out
because he has to
together.
live forever, obviously, right?
And I think that's what a bit of his motivation was this whole time, the whole project with Jim and trying to find out his consciousness. I think his whole end goal was to become someone that
That's-
becomes immortal,
Yeah.
so he can stay in the world
Yeah.
with Dolores.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
he didn't want to be a part of his real world anymore.
Yeah.
But look what he done. He like done effed everybody up in the
Yeah.
real world.
So he sees her in that moment.
So he sees her in that moment. Sorry, that was a full tangent. But like he sees her in that moment, and then he gets distracted, and he leaves the party, and he goes to the bar, and then
Right.
he has a really quick conversation with Ford.
Ford is there too.
And Ford basically gives him another card and tells him like, this is the game that we're gonna play now.
Yeah.
And there are some notifications of what's about to happen. I'm assuming this is before Ford gets his brains blown out.
Well, yeah.
So he's just talking to him and saying that this is going to be the new game. As long as you know what's going on with your people inside the park. Like he's kind of hinting off with William that the robots are changing, but it doesn't seem like William cares because
Right.
he's so
Or he doesn't believe it or
he's
whatever.
pursuing
Yeah.
this whole like Valley Beyond like
Yeah.
server situation. So it's almost like Ford was trying to warn him in that moment to be like, listen, these guys are becoming even better humans.
Yeah.
Maybe you could just live with a robot. but he was like, no, I want to become a robot. It was almost
Is that what you took from it?
I feel like maybe he was kind of hinting at this idea that like you can stop now. Like you don't necessarily have to go the route you're going. You might be able to like take this all back and like learn to like be happy in your life because they're doing their own thing and they're developing and growing. I don't know. I'm just talking now. I have no idea. So
I think he was just enticing him, and I think the dynamic is interesting too, because I feel like even when he was talking, he was like, we always agreed to stay separate. Like we agreed that you had your lab and I had my lab, and we did our own thing in the world and whatever. But I think even when William walks away, he's like, no, I'm done. Like I'm not down for this.
Yeah.
He's like, we're gonna play one last game.
Yeah.
So like he's like tricking him too.
So he gives him.
But why does he want him to come back? That's my question.
Well, that's what I mean. I feel like he wants him to like learn his life, like get his life together, like figure out.
Yes, you're right. Yes,
path.
yeah, like a life lesson. Yeah, lesson. For sure.
So he tosses over his profile card, and then William leaves and he goes home, and he gets home and his wife is like trashed, or the mom is trashed. He takes her home.
Yeah.
And then the daughter's there too.
Yeah.
And her name's Emily.
Right.
So it turns out that Emily and Grace
so
are the same
confusing.
freaking person. I did not know this until literally this episode. They didn't make it that clear. So I'm assuming that Grace / Emily, she was using like a fake name in Raj World.
Yeah.
Or in the Raj. So now we know for sure.
That was a letdown too, because we thought like he had two daughters,
I was like, that would have been
and like one died in the
gag.
park. Like we were trying to like figure out this next storyline, and like it's the same freaking girl.
I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So she comes there and she like looks at her mom and she's like, yeah, she's such an alco or whatever. Yeah. I'm gonna take her home. And he's like, don't worry about it. I'll take her. You just stay at the party.
He's like, come to our house afterward. Whatever.
So she shows up, or like they drop her off at home. And the mom is like belligerent and angry.
Like she's not belligerent drunk. She was kind of just like buzzed.
Tipsy.
She was like, I know you, and and she was like angry.
Right.
She wasn't like yakking everywhere and like, you know, like taking off her top.
Yeah,
like,
I feel like I've been worse. Like I've seen people worse off than she was.
And so he was like, calm down, like go upstairs.
Right.
And like at first I thought like she's like at the balcony, so like he might push her off or something.
Right,
but then
drama.
that doesn't even happen either.
Yeah.
He's like, honey, go upstairs. So he takes her upstairs.
Yeah. So she looks at her daughter and she's like, I'm so sorry that you have to see this. I never wanted you to like do this. Or she just like has a conversation with her saying that she tried her best. And she's trying to let her know that like, I'm the one that really loved you. Your dad like never loved you. He's the psychopath in this world. Like you don't understand. And it seems that like she was more of a daddy's girl, so she's kind of like took his side the whole time. Like, oh, mom, you know how she is.
Well, because I think like the mom was also really crazy too. That like the daughter was like, mom, you got to go back to your like doctor. Like you have to go back there. Like you have to be there. She's like, no, I'm good.
And then she like kind of, so I think that's also an instigator for her to like kill herself as well. She's like, I don't want to go back there. But I just feel like it's,
I don't know. It wasn't
enough. It felt so set up. Like anyway, so she goes upstairs.
He puts her into bed. Like he's being so cute.
Right.
He like puts her in the bed. And then as he's sitting there, as she's falling, she's asleep at this point.
Because she's like, tell me something real about who you are. Like, who are you really? And he finally, like, as she's like passed out, he says like, I'm not meant for this world.
He repeats his voiceover from like the beginning.
Right. He says like, I'm not meant for this world. You were right. You're the only one who's ever able to see through me.
Stain.
I'm meant for another world. Yeah. Then he kisses her, and then he like dips. He like goes back downstairs.
And before he dips, he puts his player's card in the book by the bed.
Yes. So literally as soon as he walks away,
what the F?
She like opens her eyeballs and she's like, okay, now I'm gonna.
She's like, I done heard everything you just said. I am so miserable now.
She's like,
she walks over to the book.
Yeah.
Because she saw him put the thing in the book. She gets the player's card. She runs to like her computer and like loads up the screen to like show like his past video footage from the world. Yeah.
And
like she gets shook.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
She gets shook. She gets so shook that she goes to the bathroom while they're talking. So the daughter and
William are downstairs.
They're downstairs talking. They're like, yeah, we're going to send her away tomorrow. Like the doctor's going to come. And then they see like water dripping from the top. And then he runs upstairs and she like done killed herself in the bathtub.
Yeah.
this is obviously a very sensitive subject, but like, do you think that whole storyline was like, did it make sense to you?
I think there was parts of that storyline that could have come through harder, and I could have believed it a bit more. But from what they showed, I didn't like. It didn't hit me.
Like I didn't
as to why she would kill herself.
I didn't feel the mental instability if that is like one of the indicators. Like I didn't like they were like, oh, she's crazy.
They're saying she's crazy, she's drunk. This girl like was not even sleeping. She woke up, she saw him put the player's card, she went to her desk, like she was fully like aware and like alert and like fine. Like so I just don't understand how it went from that also, to like the bathtub. Like,
and also for me, like the whole thing was like what was it that triggered you to do that? If you were right the entire time, if you were like, you're the liar, you're the fake, why are you the one, once you find out the truth, like that he actually is, like if he actually is the one that is like the evil one, and you finally have like proof that you saw in the profile card, like how are you the one that's like going to be so upset about it that you're going to kill yourself?
Yeah, I agree.
Like why wouldn't you go back downstairs and be like, you piece of shit,
loser, like you go kill yourself?
Like show that to the daughter to be like, yo, look what he's doing with his life.
Like I don't know. Yeah, you're right.
There's so many
and
things
I also feel like there was
done.
other things. Like she was saying like, not that you ruined my life, but like our whole life has been a lie, whatever. Yeah. But why? Like, what proof do you have that he did that? Like, are you angry that he took over your family business? He stole from Logan.
Yeah.
He killed your dad. Like, what? What was it? Like, can you elaborate so like I know why you're hurt?
I can feel that way.
Yeah, like exactly. I didn't understand any of that, and like she doesn't talk about that at all.
Like I guess you have to assume. Like she does mention she was like my dad is dead, my brother's dead.
Okay, but like it's not his fault that they're dead. You know what I mean?
Exactly, that's true.
So like, why are you putting it on him? Like that's what I didn't understand.
I don't know.
Anyways, guys, let us know if you guys kind of felt the same way. Like I feel like it didn't add up to it as much as I wanted it to add up to, and we were saying that like maybe he had originally 2 daughters and like the one daughter died in the park, and so she felt guilty, and like that's why. Which kind of I get that's very powerful and very traumatic, but this one was kind of like I just didn't. Like
I feel like it was subtle, and I don't mind that. Like I don't mind that the writers wanted to keep it a subtle.
No, it was too subtle.
But I felt like it was way
because they've been building up to this all season too.
Like to give him the drive to like want to do what he's doing with his life. So his story arc ends with him remembering this, and then we're not even done with what happens in the real world. He ends up going, and the guys show up. So the policemen show up. And
like QA shows up to pick them up now.
Right. He scans his neck and he scans her neck to make sure that they're like real people. And
we see that when they scan his neck, it says clear. So he's fine. And the daughter's like, we're both human, like we're both like real. But we don't see them scan the girl. Like we do see, but we don't see like that side of it. And then the whole time, William's like, I don't believe you, Ford. You're crazy. Look what you're doing to me. Mm-hmm. He's like, you're still trying to play me. So he's seeing that like they're all fake.
He's freaking
out.
Like
this is all a setup from Ford.
So he literally grabs a machine gun from one of the guys that's like that just cleared him, and he shoots them all dead.
Yeah.
And then Grace is like, Grace/Emily is like,
she
what
falls.
the fuck did
She's
you
like,
do?
What the F, bro?
She's like, those are real people. You just killed them all.
And then she was saying, she goes like, Dad, like I know this because Mom gave me your player's card. Like this is how I know it. He's like, no. He's like, no. And then he shoots her. Because she went to like reach for it.
Right.
He's thinking that she's gonna like grab a gun or whatever, probably. He shoots her. Then she falls whatever. He's like, ha, like, see, like, I'm whatever, like, Ford.
He's about to, like,
but then, like,
I think he's about to cut her arm off,
open,
too, to, like, see if, like, she has, like,
then he goes to her hand, and he sees the card in her hand.
The player card, yeah.
So he's like, oh, fuck. Like, so she did have the card. Because he's like, I didn't tell anyone about my past.
Right.
So no one would know that. But obviously, like, she found your freaking card.
So the last scene that we see him in is he's in the middle of a field, and he wants to shoot himself in the head.
Yeah.
But he doesn't.
And
then that's the end
of his... And then he falls to the ground. And there's something that voiceover says. It's like, who are you?
Yeah. Something like that. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's a powerful moment. So that being said, him ending off in the middle of a field.
Yeah.
Are we assuming that Emily/Grace is now dead?
I think so. Yeah.
So he's just...
I don't want her to be dead. I still want to see a better ending for him.
Yeah.
Because I feel like she's his better ending. But I don't think we're going to see that.
But what do we see happening with him now?
I have no idea.
So
I feel like he's going to have to see Dolores.
Yeah, that's true.
They're gonna have to intersex maybe.
I'm having a lot of like questions as to like what his storyline is. I think that there's still something that has to be said with the fact that one of the things that we totally missed is when he finally doesn't kill himself in the middle of the field, he rolls up his sleeve and he tries to cut himself open
in that same spot that Bernard put that thing in, the wire
into his
what
body.
does that mean? That like he's a host?
So it could mean one of two things. It could mean him realizing that he's a host, or it's him checking to see if he's a host, because he's like, holy shit, like all this time, like maybe I'm the fake one, and like maybe the robot me is that paranoid that like this is who like my paranoid version would have become. Like we don't know, and a part of me wants to see like a real one and a fake one kind of come head to head,
like two MIBs,
and realize like they're almost the same person.
I feel like that's gonna happen.
Like imagine like your fake person still follows the path that you would have taken as a human being. Like that's pretty some deep shit. Like you still went dark, you still did bad things as a robot.
Crazy. Yeah, that's
like,
crazy.
Just because of like your core person, like the personality that you've created in this world. So I don't know. I feel like there still has to do with some sort of like artificial intelligence with his character specifically.
Yes, because there was that whole focus on when the guards came, they did scan his neck. So they've never even shown that. So like the fact that they just showed that, and then like him checking to see if he has a chip in him, like there has to be some sort of layer to him being a host, or he has a duplicate or something.
Like if he didn't shoot himself this episode, that was his mental break to be realized like, oh shit, I'm like like I just killed my daughter or whatever. So for me it's like, okay, well now you need to figure out the rest of your life, because you're still stuck in this world and now you have nothing left on the other side.
It's so sad.
So like what the fuck are you gonna do now?
What the
so
censors yourself.
Yeah, that was the end of the episode. Let's get into a recap roundups.
Recap roundups.
Best moment. My best moment was when Ford told Maeve that she was his favorite, because it was so cute and it was so unexpected, because we didn't really get to see Ford and Maeve at all really in season 1 together. Yeah. So it was kind of like coming out of left field, and like him being like, "You're my favorite, like you're like my child." I was like, "Oh, okay, super cute."
Super cute. My best moment was seeing Clementine turn up turn all those hosts on and go zombified.
It's crazy.
That was pretty crazy and really cool to see like what they're gonna do with that power.
Do you think they'll put like Clementine and Maeve up against each other?
I hope not, because I thought they were homegirls and like I love them together. Well, actually no, she was with Dolores. Forgot.
But originally she was with
Maeve. With Maeve.
They were like close together.
They were homegirls like from time. The OG homegirls. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that.
WTF moment.
Mine was him shooting his daughter, like the MIB shooting the daughter. Because I was shocked in the way that it was set up and edited. I was almost in disbelief that she's dead. Like I can almost like not really see that she's dead, because like there was no like overdramatic music.
Yeah,
like,
you're right.
I don't know, but
the way he shot her too, like it was very like flimsy and like
abrupt.
It looked like her arm got shot and like she kind of just fell over. Like it wasn't like a blow to the head or anything.
Exactly.
So I don't know, but she looked dead when he like touched her hand. Like she looked dead. My WTF moment was Teddy shooting himself, because that was I was not that I didn't expect it, because like he had the gun and he had the one bullet, so like I knew it was leading up to that moment, but I guess when it happened I was just like really shook, and like Dolores was shook too. Like she didn't know what to do. She's like, where do I go from here?
She's lost. Yeah, that was a pretty crazy moment.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Teddy.
MVP. My MVP is gonna be Ford this episode, because I feel like he is lurking in so hard.
Yeah.
And I know, like you said, like he doesn't want to control them. He doesn't want to tell them what to do.
Right.
But he's still there, acting like a daddy and like guiding them through these things. So, I mean, he's coming through. So.
Yeah. He's my MVP as well this episode, just because, like you said, he's. I can't believe this character who literally shot himself in the real world is still so prevalent for his. Like what he said, his children, making sure that his children are like gonna do the right thing the next time.
There was always a thing between that. Like I was like, is he a villain? Is he good? Does he love them?
How does he feel about them?
And so and so like watching him with Maeve, like no, like he loves them, like his own children. So
he loves them and he wants them to be like happy in their own version of themselves.
Yeah.
LVP.
My LVP is gonna go to William, because who the F shoots their own daughter? Like, what's wrong with you?
Such a loser.
What's wrong with you?
I can't believe it. My LVP is going to be Bernard because I feel like this episode specifically, he's glitching out again, and it just frustrates me that he keeps going back from like being boss ass Bernard back to like unsure of himself, like glitching out and going crazy and like tying himself to a wheel and like being weird. Like, why is he being weird? Like, literally Elsie's like, why are you being weird? And I'm like, yeah, why are you being weird right now? I just thought that he didn't like kill it this episode.
Yeah.
So, LVP.
And I was telling you too, I was like, I never know what to believe in Bernard's storyline because it's so trippy. So I'm not attached to it that much because I'm like, I don't know if this is real, when this timeline took place. Like, I never know what to think. So
you don't know how to feel.
It's hard to like be in the moment with him.
Very true.
The best line. My best line is William. It goes to William when he's talking to his wife, and he's like, everything you feel is true. I don't belong to you or this world. I belong to another world. I always have. And like, it just sums up everything that he is, and what he believes for himself. What that really means, we don't know yet. It could mean that like he became a host along the way, or he's just in love with Dolores, or he just loves the world. Like, I don't know what that means just, really. Like, please break it down for me.
In Westworld. I don't know. Mine is coming from the other side, from the wife, and she says to him, if you keep pretending, you're not going to remember who you are. And it's really interesting to see what his journey's been this entire series so far, like from young William all the way to him becoming the MIB, and how she's really like, you were never this nice, innocent man. You were always this dark person. So when she says that,
you were the best at faking being the nice, innocent like thing.
Exactly. So for her saying like, you're pretending, like when you keep pretending, like she's basically saying, in this real world, you pretending to be like this good like philanthropist, you're gonna forget that you really have this darkness inside of you. That's the way I'm taking it, at least. So it's very interesting. That's the end of the episode, guys.
That's it. One more left to go. I'm excited.
I'm excited for the season finale. I think it's going to be really, really good. So that's next week. Let us know what you guys think about this season so far. Let us know what your predictions are for the finale.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like, comment, subscribe.
Bye.
Bye.